Hey everyone, hope you are doing awesome. Welcome back to my channel PEGAhut with another video. Thanks everyone for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't hit the bell icon yet, please do so you won't miss any of my videos. Please hit the like button and leave me a comment or feedback if you like the video or the way I have explained.
So we are going to discuss about the modal dialog and overlay, and I'm gonna explain you hands-on on when to use modal dialog and how to use modal dialog. Okay, to understand modal dialog, what we are going to do is, so I have created some prerequisite detail which I'm going to show you, and I'm going to tell you the requirement, and then from there we'll take it forward. So what I have done is, let's first focus on the requirement. So I have created a case, and let's say I'll just quickly run this one, and I have got home address and I have got billing address. Let's consider this home address as my personal address and this is my billing address. Now I have a checkbox, personal address same as billing. The moment user clicks on the checkbox, then I need a modal dialog to be a pop-up to come. Are you sure you want to proceed? And then if I say yes, then I want this address to be copied on this address. If I cancel, that means I don't want it to be copied. Similarly, if I do uncheck, then also I wanted to get a modal dialog. Are you sure you want to proceed? And based on that, I would remove or I won't remove. So this is what my requirement is. Now to achieve this requirement, what I have done is I have created two property. So basically two page property. One is address detail, another one is billing address detail. Now both page property, if you see, they both has a page definition called data-address detail. Similarly, if I see billing address, they have got a page definition called data-address detail. That's the reason how I could able to reuse those properties. So if you go to this class, you would find all this city, country, line 1, line 2, postcode, state, all this property, and also I've created the section there, and I have used those as part of my embedded section. Now I hope this is clear, and I've also created one true and false property, which is personal ad same as billing address, right? So this is what I have created. Now let's quickly see how we can achieve the requirement based on what I've just told. Now my first thing is to consider is, if I click on this, then I need it to be a modal dialog should come, a pop-up should come. So to do that, you double click on that, go to action, in the action click action and event. In the event, on click of event, we are going to call a local action. So if you see in the launch section, there is something called local action. Now in this local action, you got three options. One is replace current, another one is modal dialog, and third one is overlay. I'm going to explain each and everything. Let's first start with modal dialog, as my requirement is to have a pop-up. Now here, let's quickly create a local action. Now let me name it as a personal address, same as personal address, same as billing. Now the moment I don't have one, I need to create one. The moment I will create this one, right? You click on this one, it is nothing but a flow action. So as you could see, this is nothing but a flow action. Let me go ahead and create and open it. Now, as you know that if a modal dialog comes, right, so are you sure you want to proceed is what a text I need. So that means this is nothing but a section. Now, as you know that in PEGA, a section can always connect it to a flow action, right? Now what I need to do is I need to create a section. Now I'm gonna name that section also same name, just to be in the consistent manner. So I'm going to go ahead and open it and create. Now I'll create and open. Don't save this one because it will fail. Now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop it data display and label, and in that label I'm gonna call that label, are you sure you want to proceed? Okay, now this is done. So now I'll save it. That means my section is created successfully. Now I'll close my section. Now I'll go and save my flow action, right? Now I'll close this one. Now here, as you could see, a flow action. So now you people who do not know a difference between local action and the flow action which we use in the assignment, right? Here we always use a flow action, right? I'll just take 2 minutes to explain them. So when you use a local action, so here we have used a local action. Basically what it does is it will perform certain operation and your control will still be staying in the same screen. However, when you are using a flow action like this, that means the moment you click on submit or something, what will happen is it will take your control to the next assignment. So basically it will move forward your control. But however, when you use local action, it will be a as the name itself indicate, it's going to be local to that section or screen or whatever you see. So that's the difference between a local action and a flow action. However, they both are flow action. If the same flow action I'm going to use as part of an assignment, it will act differently than this. Okay, now this is clear. Now I have created personal address, same as billing address, and I have created. Now here couple of things I have got. Target model, I'm going to explain one by one, but before that I'll just do a submit, I'll do a save, and now I'm going to test it for you guys. Now here I have already got one. I'm gonna action and refresh. I'll say discard. Now I'll just reopen it. Now here, the moment I click on this one, I have got a modal dialog, which is a pop-up screen, and it says me, are you sure you want to proceed? Now if I do submit, and I got 2 buttons also. Now you must be thinking where this 2 buttons came, because we have just configured this section, isn't it? Now this button came, if I go back to again the section, this button came from, if I open that, so there are 2 things. One is your local action, where you got the section to be created. Another one is a template. Now what is this template mean? The template is the default one, PZ model template. Now if I go over here, now here if you see, I've got a template. I have got cancel and submit. So that's the same template that you see on the screen, cancel and submit. So this is the OOTB template which PEGA provides from out of the box and been used by default. Now for example, you have a requirement that you want to change this one. Instead of cancel and submit, I want to change it to let's say cancel and OK. So during that time, what I should do, let's say that is my requirement, what I should do generally, I would save as this one, okay, and instead of PZ modal dialog, modal template, let's say personal address template, something, okay, any name that you like, and then instead of work layer, you can always set them to your own layer. Now here if I can set it to my own layer, and here what I'm going to do is, all I need to do is, instead of submit, right, I can change this to I'll say okay. You can delete this, you can change any number of what do you say, buttons, you can do whatever. This is also another section. Now the same template, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use that in the, instead of PZ model dialog, I'm going to use this template. Now I'll say save. Now I'll go back and I'll just cancel it and I'll say refresh. Now as you would see, this template has been overridden, and now I'm going to just click on OK. Now if I click on this one, now you will see my button has changed to OK instead of submit. So similarly, you can reuse those templates, and you can also create your own, make your own styling, everything you can do in that particular template section. So now I'll just quickly recap. Local action, this is a flow action where you got a section where you got the body. Now this template name will have a button. Now these 2 things are there. Now I will also explain you about, now here what I have gone is, I have gone with the model format as standard. Now you can also go for other, other, and the moment you click on the down arrow at this point, here you will have fixed list, fixed size, fixed screen, all these things, full screen, all these things. So you can choose depending on your need. At the moment, I'll just go with the standard, as that's what I wanted to go with. Okay. Now this part is clear, right? And you can also use when condition. If you have multiple local action to be displayed, depending on the condition, you can use this when condition and show different local action. Okay. So depending on the need, you can design. Now what is my second? So my model dialog has come. Now if I click on OK, what I would do, I would like to copy this one from here to here, right? Now how would you do that? I'll first tell you one approach, and then I'll tell you what is the pros and cons of that approach, and then I'm going to show you the actual approach. So here, as you could see that as you are on the screen, if you are copying from one section to another section, what you need definitely a refresh section, isn't it? So that's the reason what we're gonna do is we are going to add an action over here, and here I'm gonna call a refresh section. Now in this refresh section, I'm gonna create a data transform which will copy. The moment I click on OK, that will copy the address from personal detail to billing address. Okay. So now here what I'm saying is copy address. Okay. Now I'll just quickly open that data transform, and that data transform, once I just click on open and create an open, and in this data transform I'm going to copy. Now here how do you do? Let's put a when condition. So when I wanted to copy, when this particular personal address same as billing address property is set to true, that's where I want to copy. Now because it's a true and false, all you need to do is just get that property. Let me see what is my property name. I'll just do a comment. First I'll just do a comment and I'll do a save here first. Now let me create first a when condition. The reason why I've copied, because I always the reason why I have saved it, because I always forget. So before I put anything, I'll just go back to the section and then I'll just quickly save it. I'll do a submit and save it so that I won't miss them. Now coming back here, now here what is this my property? Where is my property? Now if I go here and take the live UI, if I go this one, this is my property, personal address same as billing, right? Now I'm going to use the same property. So to get this property, obviously here you gotta get all the when rule. So to get this property, I'll just quickly do a dot here, personal address same as. Now because this particular property has got true or false, now when always need a true, so I don't need to write is equal to true. Here if I put that particular property, if the value is true, this will be replaced with true, and then automatically this will be executed. And now what I'm gonna set? I'm gonna set the billing address to the address. Now here my address detail is a page property, and I'm gonna set all the details from address detail to billing address detail. Now can I do this setting of the page property like this? Yes, because they both belongs to same class. Even though they are not belongs to same class also, you can always do a set one page to another page. But in this manner, in the data transform, what happens is generally it will copy each and everything, including the PXOBJ class also, from this page to that page. So basically, if this page belongs to a different class, still during runtime it will change, and it will be this page will have a class that belongs to this class, because I'm doing a set. Generally what people do, if they both belongs to different class, then people go with billing address with value from dot address details, and then they go ahead and map this individual property. But because they both are belongs to same class, and I wanted to copy each and every field here, so I am directly going to go with set, and there is no harm in it. Okay, now I hope this is clear. Now I got my when done. Now I'm going to do otherwise when. Now in the otherwise when, I can't obviously put just personal condition, personal as billing address, because it will have a false. I wanted to make it true when it is a false, so equal to false. So in the false, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that object. Which object? Is billing address object I'm going to remove. Now if I remove, people who already know about it, you need to initialize a page, else it won't come in the section. So to do that, what I'm going to do is, after removing, either I'll just do a update page. Sorry, this is remove. Okay, once I have done with the remove, after that what I'm going to do is I'm gonna just do a update page, and in the update page again I'm gonna call it as a billing address, because I know that's why I'm already doing it, instead of going and testing it and coming back here. So I'm just gonna do a update page, initializing a page. Like that you can initialize a page in the data transform. So I'll save it. Now my data transform is done. So what I have done is I have called a local action. This local action is going to give me a pop-up, and after that I'm going to refresh this section, and while refreshing I'm going to call this data transform. Based on the condition, it will basically copy one address to the other address. Let's quickly go ahead and test it and see if it is working or not. So now I'll go and refresh it, and now I'm going to create. Now here I'll say line 1, line 2. Okay, probably I'll just put line 1, line 2 or something, city, state, country and postcode. Okay, Now the moment I say personal address same as billing address, what am I getting? I'm getting, are you sure you want to proceed? And then I'm gonna say okay. The moment I say okay, as you could see, the entire address has been copied. So internally what happened is the data transform has been triggered. I'll just turn on the tracer while I'm gonna remove that. I'll clear it. Now here the moment I say personal address being unchecked, if I'm gonna uncheck, I'll say okay. What happened is it has got removed. Now if you see in the background, copy address would have been called. In the copy address first section, personal address same as billing has been false. Now that I unchecked it, this second section became true, and it removed it, and then it initialized that billing address. So as you know, it calls the respective data transform. All good, no problem. But if I click on this personal address same as billing address, and let's say I change my mode, okay? Now let me turn on the tracer. I change my mode. No, I don't want to proceed. Then I'll say cancel. Now what happened in this scenario? Even though I say cancel, but still can you see it has been copied? Now why it has been copied? Because if you see, now copy address has been triggered in the background. Why? Because if you see here, how did we use the copy address is in the refresh this section. So irrespective of whether you say okay or you say cancel, this copy address is always going to be called, isn't it? So now how you can solve this problem? To solve this problem, what you need to do is let's get rid of from here. Now as you know, this flow action, right? It's a so this local action is a flow action, right? Now this flow action has got two actions: pre-processing, post-processing. Now when the post-processing generally happen for a flow action, when you click on submit, right? When it goes forward, right? Now when you do cancel, that means obviously post-processing won't happen. It's like any other flow action. So that's the reason what you need to do is you need to call the that respective data transform in the post-processing of your flow action. Now if you do that, the moment I click on OK, that's where it's going to be copied. But if I cancel it, it won't copy. Let's try to solve. Let's try to test that. Now I'm gonna save this one first, and also I'm going to come here and do a submit. I'll just make sure that it has been removed from here. I'll do a submit and I'll save it from here. Now if I go, I'll just do a quick action and refresh, and I'll say OK, and then I'll just open. And now here I'm going to copy line 1, line 2, city, state, country, postcode. Okay, now I'll say personal address same as billing address. Let me okay, before cancelling it, what I'm going to do is I'll play the tracer and I'll say cancel. Can you see, is anything copied? No. In the tracer also, if I try to find, copy address is not been called. But if I say, I'll say, okay, I'll just clear it. I'll say personal address same as billing address. I'll say cancel. Can it be, obviously it was not there. And if you see in the background, nothing has been copied. Having said that, if I say personal address same as billing, are you sure you want to proceed? If I say okay, now if I say okay, can you see my address has been copied? Why? Because as part of post processing, so if you see this reload section has been, so I'll just show you, this reload section is nothing but our refresh section, right? Now before this reload section, you see this submit model flow action. I'll just open submit model flow action, submit model flow action. In that submit model flow action, you would, if you scroll down a bit over here, because it's a post processing where PX perform flow action, during that time the post processing has been triggered, and that's the reason the copy address has been called, and hence it was copied across. And similarly, if I say personal address same as okay, then it will be removed. Now you would understand why we need that particular data transform to put in the post action of a flow action, and how in real time, depending on your need, whether you can where to use it is what it's very crucial on to know where you should be using all this thing to manipulate your data. Now here also, as you could see, there is this button, right? On this button also you can manipulate your data. If I say okay on this button, I'll just pause the tracer. If I say okay on this button also, you can always go ahead and go to that particular button section wherever you created this one, and here you can always go with the action and create the action set. So depending on your need, requirement, everything, you need to choose at what point you need to put your data manipulation, like data transform activity, everything. Now I hope it is clear with respect to your modal dialog. Now before modal dialog, it was, initially it was replace current, right? The moment I do replace current, right, what will happen basically, it will replace the entire screen with this section that is there in the personal address, same as billing address. Now let's see how it works. Now if I do submit, I'll do save. Now if I go back to the particular thing, I'll say okay. I'll just do a quick refresh and I'll say okay, and I'll reopen it. Now the moment I click on personal address same billing, it will, the section will completely replace the current section, and the moment I say create, it will go back to the same section. Basically it's going to override that particular section. Basically it's going to hide that particular section behind, and but it's kind of a modal dialog only. Similarly, if I go back to this action and event, and here instead of replace current, if I do overlay, right? How does overlay work? As you would have seen my initial video where I have shown you, overlay is nothing but going to be, it is not a pop-up, it's just going to come on the same this one. Here in the overlay format, you can go for standard, fixed button. So let me go with the standard one. You can explore all the other option that is there. Now I'll just gonna show you how does it look like. So if I do a refresh here, if I click on go, and then here what will happen is, now if I just click uncheck it, then you will get this kind of pop-up instead of basically you will get this kind of overlay instead of a pop-up. Now the difference between overlay and a modal dialog is, modal dialog is going to give us a pop-up, but overlay is going to be in line with the same action and event wherever you have created. Now this is the difference between modal dialog and overlay, but the performance wise or the work wise, they both are same. So this is how it's going to look like, and you can all again change everything whatever you like. At this overlay section, you can choose standard, you can choose whatever way you want it. So I hope this is clear, and I hope you understood about how to use modal dialog, overlay and replace current. Mostly you would see the modal dialog is being used, a pop-up under a pop-up, and you can have multi-layer of pop-up. So it's very crucial to understand, whenever you are taking a decision to go for a modal dialog, don't just create a pop-up on top of a pop-up. It's going to be very confusing. Make sure you make it clean and simple with respect to the way you design, and make sure you are following the best practices that PEGA follow with respect to your modal dialog.
That's it for today, and hope you understood clearly. Please hit the like button if you learned something or you like the way I have explained, and leave me a comment if you have any queries or feedback for me. It will help me to improve and also motivate me to post more concepts and videos. As I always tell, sharing is caring, so do share with others so people who do not know about my channel will be benefited. Stay tuned for my next video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do subscribe and click on the bell notification for my new video updates. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.